Flash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
And you're still watching Prime Morning. My name is Roslyn Felly, and this is the News Flash segment, which is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, phone, paper, pair, few, whatever gadgets you're looking for, whether mobile phones, television sets, CCTV cameras, we say worry no more because we have got you covered. All you need to do is to download the app on your phone to make things very simple, which is the Franco Trading app, and you purchase any item of your choice and we'll deliver it to you at your doorstep. Not just that, you see the number on the screen right now? Yep. Pick that number and call us, and of course, we'll serve you as well. For further inquiries, you can visit our website, which is www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still, phone, paper, pair, fee. Now, it's time for us to delve into our conversation for this morning, but we want you to be a part of it like you always do, okay? So let's do this together. You can actually send your messages to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Tell us all you think about what we are going to be discussing. Not just that, you can also go on Facebook as we stream live there and leave your comments on there as well. We do appreciate our Facebook viewers and, of course, the commenters, even most importantly. We don't take you for granted at all. So please leave your comment there and also hit the share button. Let everybody on your timeline enjoy it. Now, this morning, I'll be joined by three people representing different political parties, but the rep for the NDC is here already, Caspar Kampoli. Good morning, Caspar.
Good morning, Rosie.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Great.
Hope you're good too.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a brand new week.
Yes. And it's a brand new day for me to be here with you.
Right.
I hope we'll have a very discerning, insightful conversation.
Definitely we'll do that. All right. So I'll quickly take our newspapers. No, but let me give you a brief of what we'll be discussing so that you can start your messages coming in now. So we are going to be taking a look at the Feed Ghana project, which has been launched by the president. Now, this is to enable us to get our own food and to prevent us from importing from neighboring countries. We know that as of now, we have even Burkina Faso, tomatoes, Burkina onions, and all of that. Now, the president says that we can put a stop to it if only we invest heavily in agriculture, and it takes you and I to be able to do that. So your backyard, we will take advantage of your backyard and plant our own foods there. For the secondary schools, you also be planting your foods and rearing your own livestock. For some farmers out there, there's an opportunity for you because government is going to support you to be able to produce a lot of food to supply to the whole country. I will take a look at that, and then we'll also take a look at what foot soldiers are doing. The National Service Secretariat doesn't seem to be too happy about how foot soldiers want to evade the scheme. Now, they want to make sure that they take over and put their own people there. We'll take a look at that as well. So let's hear your voice this morning on all of that. Let me start with our newspapers before we go into that conversation. And so the first newspaper is the Economy Times newspaper, the Economy Times. Government snubs high treasury bill rate demands despite heavy debt refinancing needs. U.S. tariff war, African exporters react as AfCFTA gears up to subdue impact. BOG cautions commercial banks as they adjust lending rates, a new cover price. Okay, so it looks like Economy Times also has a new cover price, which is 5 Ghana cedis now. The Ghanaian Publisher newspaper is my next newspaper, the Ghanaian Publisher. NPP MP slams government over tariff hikes. Boko conflict haunts Mahama. Minority demands urgent action. 32.5 billion Ghana cedis debt saved cocoa sector. Boahin Edu says so. And that's it for the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. The next newspaper is the Daily Dispatch newspaper. The Daily Dispatch. Otumfuo's peace moves in Boko crisis will resume this week. This coming from President Mahama. Boko conflict has claimed over 300 lives since November 2021. It's very, very serious. I don't know. Yesterday night, we didn't hear good news. There were 2 police officers that were shot and killed in Boko. May their souls rest in peace. I know it will be brought to you during Trends, so you see I'll talk about it. The Chronicle newspaper is the final newspaper. The Chronicle newspaper, $400 million annual importation of chicken is a shame, and this is coming from President Mahama. And this is one of our topics where we are discussing Feed Ghana project, which has been launched by the president. Solving clinker poser, Supersem Cement built $100 million LC3 plant in Tema. That's good. I'm hoping that as this plant has been built, I'm hoping that as they're going to be producing these cements here, I'm hoping that cement prices will drop. That's all I can say. Because people always complain about cement prices going up and all of that. So I'm hoping that with this, we'll see some drop in cement prices. IGP escapes sniper's bullet at Boko. When the IGP went to Boko, we know that his car was fired at, but by the grace of God, he wasn't harmed. So the issue in Boko is very, very serious. I don't want us to make it political. So this morning, our producer, we decided that we want to be making it the main conversation. We don't want it to be political. It's very, very dicey. There are people out there that if you talk about these things, they take advantage of it, use your platform, say all sorts of things, and before you realize it becomes something else. And the media is a very, very powerful tool. And so as much as possible, we try not to engage in things that could lead to other stuff or make it worse. Because you hear maybe a media person will pass a simple comment on an issue and it blows out of proportion. Or somebody will send a message, we don't see it well, we read it, it blows out of proportion. Or maybe a guest is saying something and out of nowhere says something that could, get this into a worse situation. And so it's not going to be one of our topics this morning, unfortunately. I'll just let them, take their opinion. I'll take their opinion on it briefly, but it's not our topic for discussion. So I think, Caspar, I just want your take on it, what's happening in Boko, just briefly, please.
Okay, thank you so very much, Rose. Let me say a very good morning to our viewers. As you said, the Boko issue is a very dicey issue. It's a delicate issue. Discussing it, if you are not minded, you might get on other people's... it's a very sensitive issue, so when you are discussing, you have to be very careful. As a native of the Upper East region from Navrongo, what I can say to my brothers and sisters across the region is that let's give peace a chance. This conflict has made the Upper East region an insecure part of the country, and I don't think this is what we want our region to be known for. Every now and then, Boko is in the media, one person is killed, two people are killed. I don't think this is how we want our region to be seen in the media space. So I'll call on my brothers and sisters in Boko and across that enclave to give peace a chance. Once we have peace, development will come our way, jobs will be created, and we can all live peacefully. So my message is peace is very necessary. We don't need to go out there and hurt anybody for any cause. Peace is what we need, and I believe that the president of the country, the regional minister, all the security people, the Otumfuo committee will do justice to the issue and give us peace, because this issue is making all of us in the region not being safe. It has escalated beyond Boko. So once again, we need peace, and peace is what we need in Upper East region and Boko.
Right, thank you so much, Caspar. And may the lives of these two policemen, may their souls, rest in peace. I get very confused when I have to be talking about very sensitive issues, because you have to choose your words rightly. You can't make any errors in there. There are no chances of making errors. So may the souls of these two policemen rest in peace. And of course, we at Multimedia, we commiserate with the family in this difficult time. May God strengthen the family. Right, so let's move on to our topic, our conversation for this morning, which is Yeridua Feed Ghana program, which has been launched by the president. Now, during his launch, this is what he said. He said, Feed Ghana is a development project popularly referred to as Yeridua, to reproduce imports from neighboring countries, will invest in controlled environmental farming, including the use of greenhouse technologies and urban agriculture. All right. So the president has said this. But then there are people who are also saying that we have planting for food and jobs. Government is a continuum. How different is this from planting for food and jobs? Will this actually solve our problems? So, Caspar, maybe you should tell us, since you belong to the NDC, how different is Eritrea from planting for food and jobs?
Okay, yes, this will solve our food problems. The Feed Ghana program is a foundation for the Ghana's agenda to make agric the vehicle which we are going to use to transform the economy. So the larger team is agric for economic transformation, and the Feed Ghana program is the foundation under which these initiatives will be anchored on. So it's made up of 9 components. The Eritrea is just one of the many components. As a country, we are faced with food insecurity challenges. We are not self-reliant because of high prices of foods. Food inflation is high. So the government's agenda this year is to make sure that agri contributes significantly to our economic growth. So as I said, there are 9 components. The Eritrea is just one of the components, which is the Vegetables Development Project. This project seeks to make sure that all of us, it's not just a policy, it's a call. That, as you said earlier on, you and all your colleagues, whether you are in the urban center, you're in a rural, peri-urban community, you're able to have a small backyard garden to be able to feed your family, that you don't need to go out there and be buying some vegetables. So in your backyard, you can cultivate tomatoes, garden eggs, pepper, carrot. You don't need a vast land. There are different models for urban farming. So this bucket garden, you can do tire garden. There's these greenhouse technologies that can be adapted. So that is for the vegetables development that all of us as a people, we should take steps to grow one food crop in our compound, in our community. We have community farms and all that. Apart from the vegetable development, we have the smart agriculture, which seeks to create farmer service centers across the country. So these farmer service centers will have farm equipment. So we want to make agric smart, we want to modernize it so that the young people will not see agric as a cutlass and whole kind of means to a livelihood, but a smart way to cultivate. So there'll be tractors, there'll be combine harvesters, you have seedlings, you have chemicals. So it's going to be a one-stop center for farmers that if you have land and you don't have seedlings, when you go to these farm service centers, they provide the seedlings and all that you need to.
But the same thing with the planting for food and jobs?
I mean, they're not the same. The planting for food and jobs were just a mere slogan. There were no actionable steps to make sure that agri contributed significantly to our economy. As I said, these are 9 components. The planting for food and jobs was just a mere slogan. Because if it was really a policy with actionable steps, in 2018, we had to go to ECOWAS for 27,000 bags of maize. So it didn't make any significant impact to our economy. But this Feed Ghana program, which has 9 components, I just talked about 2, is going to be significant. So the other aspect of it is the institutional farms. So our tertiary institutions, secondary schools, the faith-based communities, the prisons, National Service Authority, these institutions have a lot of human resources that we could tap to go into the area of agri. So, for example, National Service Authority, they have farms. So most of their young people who have agri background, they're interested in agri, could be posted to these farms to work. The prisons, we have thousands of our people in the prisons. They need to be fed. We shouldn't be going out there to buy foodstuffs. So the decision is to make sure that these prisoners produce what they will eat. Most of their food crops that they will be consuming, we need to take steps to make sure they also produce them. Then go to the senior high schools. School feeding program is a problem. One of the challenges we face recently with free senior school is the lack of food, inadequate food supply. So the government is going to take steps through these institutional farms to support senior high schools to cultivate one food crop. If you want to go into livestock, be rearing. If you want to go into aqua culture, like say catfish, tilapia, they'll be supported to cultivate these things to make sure that individually we are contributing to our food security issues. You don't sit and say, okay, I have money, I have to go to the market. If there's a way you can contribute by producing 1 or 2 of these food crops, why not? Let's do it.
It's been launched. When is it actually taking effect?
So as I said, there are different components of it.
Yeah, but
so
we just want to know, because like I asked you earlier, you know, we know about Planting for Food and Jobs.
Yes.
We kept on hearing the launch of Planting for Food and Jobs. We kept on hearing how good Planting for Food and Jobs was going to be. We know that some people went into it. We know that, you know, it yielded results in certain areas. Probably not all areas, but it did yield results, and we can't just, you know, push it or scrap it away completely like it did nothing. Now, for yours, you have started something. You have launched it. You haven't started it yet. Now, Ghanaians have gotten to the place where we don't want to hear about launch. We want to see action. When is it going to take full force?
So after the launch yesterday, some institutions were giving support. So for example, the universities, the prisons, they were giving seedlings, equipment to start. So it has started. It has started fully. Yesterday was the official launch of it, but the actionable steps to make sure that it actually deliver the production that we want has started. The poultry revitalization program, which seeks to make sure that 50 anchor farmers are supported to produce 4 million birds a year, which will amount to 10,000 tons of poultry. It's also going to start in earnest.
So for the people who want to do farming in their backyard, is the government going to give them some sort of stipends to do it?
No stipend as such, but I believe seedlings will be given to people who want
for free?
Yes.
Who want to plant in their backyard?
Yes. Urban garden, urban garden, they'll be supported. So seedlings will be given to them to support them. 5,000 graduates from our universities are going to be posted to serve as agric extension officers to support to supporting these institutions, and then people who are engaged in this urban farming. So there will be technical people across who you can always call on when you need any technical service. So it's not just about launching it, a fanfare. No, the actionable steps are going to be taken. 55,000 households are also going to be supported to make sure that every household gives us 500 beds in a year, because we spend about $400 million in a year to import poultry. The president thinks that this is unacceptable. We cannot be doing this to ourselves. A country that has so much resources that we can make our country a key player in our food industry across the SAP region. We are going out there to spend our hard-earned dollar to be importing these things. So this is not just talk. It's not going to be a slogan. It's about the doing, and the doing has started. These 9 components, as the days goes by, there will be roll out, and every component will contribute to this quota.
All right, so let me ask my final question, and then I can bring in Honorable Ibn Zanati. Good morning, Honorable. How are you?
I'm fine.
You have a flu?
Serious.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, thank God you're fine.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Please get well soon for us. It's not easy, I know.
I told you, but I'm better.
Yeah, you should be taking some honey and lime.
Yeah, I've been asking Sheila to give me water.
Okay.
You know, normally she gives me Lipton.
Yes.
Without egg and bread. So I said I need hot water.
Oh, you can't be chewing egg and bread on TV.
What egg and bread?
You can't be chewing egg and bread on TV.
If she gives me tea, she has to add something to it.
Anyway, we'll give you hot water.
She's behaving like the Naduko Mensa, giving Radio Metanino tea without biscuit.
Anyway, so I'll come to you very soon, Honorable. But I just want to know, again, you know, seedlings will be given for those who want to do this at their backyard.
Yes.
But what about those who want to go into livestock? What will be given?
Yes, so the livestock development program that's another component of the Feed Ghana program. If you want to go into livestock, so the Koko and Ketekete is there for the poultry revitalization. But if you want to go into piggery, goats, cattle.
So in Koko and Ketekete, you are going to be given those ones?
We are going to support them.
Okay, so you give them, for them it's not going to be...
55,000 households.
Okay.
The target is that every household should be able to produce 500 beds in a year.
How do I qualify?
Oh, you just have to be a Ghanaian and show interest and have passion in poultry, because these things, if you don't have the passion for it and you go into it just because you think that it's going to be a means to a livelihood, you might not get it right. Okay. So you must be somebody who already have an interest in this area. Then you just take advantage of this government policy.
I want to rear chicken. Will you give me chicks?
Why not? We'll give you. We'll give you.
Okay. You're saying this on live?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I mean, 55,000 households are going to be supported.
So I can come in.
Yes.
wanted to be a part of the 55,000 household.
Yes.
And what do I have to provide to prove that I can rear these chicks?
Yeah, so I think the full requirements and the program will roll out in the coming days. Okay. But as I said, you must be ready.
We'll talk more about that.
Be on this process from start to finish. You don't just take the chickens, go and leave them in the open, and you don't have time for them. You must make sure you have time to be on it, because if chickens, if you don't give them attention, you are not on them. When the rains come, they'll be washed away by the rain. So you must be ready. So there is that sense of readiness, passion, and interest in it to make sure that you don't just take these chickens and go leave them somewhere and you go and you're doing your own thing. So a comprehensive framework and procedure on how you are supposed to go about it, and the impact and monitoring and evaluation steps that are going to put in place to make sure that whoever is giving these chicks at the end of the day is going to make sure that by the close of the year, the 500 bears that the country seeks from you, you're able to get it at the end of the year.
All right. Honorable Ebenezer Nati, we are feeding Ghana, and this has been launched. Yeridua. Not just that, of course, we are also seeing to the livestock aspect of it. President John Dramani Mahama has launched this. I know under your government, you launched the Planting for Food and Jobs, which I said earlier that we can't sit down and say that it didn't work at all. Yes, there were a few challenges, but of course, it wasn't completely like it didn't succeed. We know government is supposed to be a continuum. For you, is it a surprise that instead of, continuing with Planting for Food and Jobs, we are seeing Yeridua?
Rosemary, good morning. Let me say good morning to my brother too as well, and good morning to our viewers. I would say that it's just a change of name, as usual, as politicians, as we always do. Because if somebody comes and name the Jubilee House, somebody come and name it Plaster House, somebody go and change Independence Square to that's the only thing. When I listened to, in fact, before the luncheon, I listened to Honorable Eric Opoku, someone I respect so much, and someone I know have much knowledge when it comes to agriculture, because he himself is an into farming. So I respect him on that. When I listen to him, I don't see the difference between the Planting for Food and Jobs and that of Feed Ghana, if we are there for the birds there, and then the pigs and all those things, and then yes, I don't see the difference. It's just a change of name. It's all because when we say we are continuing the how do you call it?
Planting for Food
and Jobs, we are continuing the work of the MPP. So let's give him a name. So for me, what they did yesterday, I just see it as a naming ceremony.
Renaming.
Oh yes, renaming ceremony. It's like you have given birth with somebody, you have gone to marry another person, so they just want to do renaming. People grow up without having a proper name, so now they just went to do a naming ceremony by the father of the child, which is John Mahama, president. That is the only thing I see. But for me, I believe that it is not about politics. But when we all rally behind it, it will be benefit to all of us. More especially, the areas that I am interested in, which I will be monitoring the minister and his deputy, as well as the government, to see that those things are being worked on. Are the secondary schools that he talked about, the universities that he spoke about, the prison service that he spoke about. Because, Rosalie, you and I, and you are a media person, during our time, the major problem we have in the secondary school is feeding. Even the prisons, as I'm speaking with you, I think it's about 150 pesos, 180 pesos per inmate. So it tells you that food is a major problem. Give me one secondary school today that you go there that they don't have less than 10 acres of land lying there.
Right.
They have a lot. So for me, and I think I saw one of the girls' schools, I've forgotten whether in Central or Eastern, they have their own farms, and they have their own poultry farms that feed them. They have catfish that feed them. In fact, the only thing I think that they buy from outside is oil. but they get
oil and maybe rice.
Rice. So you can see that even when we are able to do this thing well, we can even join some of the schools, especially when you go to the northern regions. They can be producing rice for those in the southern sector. And those in the southern sector can be producing yam and other things. In fact, even though yam too is being put there.
That's what Planting for Food and Jobs was supposed to do, right?
So if we are able to do this, we will not be having challenges about in our schools when we complain about...
Why didn't your government do it?
When Honorable Brian Champon took over, he started implementing most of these things. And it was working. That's why I said I know there's a school.
It in the secondary schools.
No, they have. That's why I've forgotten the secondary school that they have. Only one secondary school I know that they have, because I think it was showed on telly and I watch it. When you go to our prisons, how many prisons that we have? Let's assume that we have one in each of the regions. It's 16. When you go to someone here, I mean, it's there. We can able to do something. And it's one thing that I am so happy about, and we are blessed, and we don't take advantage of it as Ghanaians, that every soil that we have in this country, whatever you put there, you benefit out of it.
But this one in particular that we are talking about, it used to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know how it stopped.
Yeah.
And I don't know under which government it stopped. But it was there. And this is the problem that we have as
It stopped under Rawlings government.
No, it was there under Rawlings government.
No, it was not there. It stopped Operation Feed Yourself, a Champon regime and all those things.
But
most of those things.
But I didn't meet a Champon.
Yeah,
but in my school, we were
those things started fading out in Rawlings government.
It's not true.
Because in Kufuor's administration,
it's not true.
The National Service have a vast land in the north, and I think one other region, that they have a pottery at the same time have a maize farm. University of Ghana here, you know Boteman, where now we have built the the stadium. About 95% of the land is for University of Ghana, and the essence is they call that place University Farm. So that's where they are fowls and all those things there. And then we have almost about 3,432 acres of land at Amahia. Amahia is when you are going to Ebri, when you get to the toll booth, you turn your right down far. You have this estate, I think, Afariwa something. That enclave, that place is called Gary Farms. That is where, in the 60s, they started rearing this cow and all those things, and we get the milk and all those things. Today, about 70% of the land has gone. All in the name of, residential. So the one that is left is what government now have to protect and then make sure that these things are being done. And then I also heard him saying that apart from these institutions, they want to also encourage individuals to also be planting things in their backyard. Rosalind, I have a sister, my direct cousin. They own a school at Bawi. It's about 15 acres of land, and they have only developed 5 acres. The 10 acres, it's not a secondary school. It's a primary and it's a junior high school. They have turned that place to be farm. The last time I saw on a status, green pepper, tomatoes, onion, cabbage, and so I asked her, Grace, I mean, these are fresh things. Where did you get it? And so from her garden, so which of the gardens? So you have 10 that line. In fact, she has wallets. She has turned it to be a farming distance. I went there, and honestly, plantain, they have planted there. And what she gave me, honestly, has motivated me. I have a 1 acre land at Amasaman. I have wallets. Quickly, the following week, I asked people to go and weed the place. I started putting up plantain at that place. So you realize that if indeed we'll be doing this ourselves, Rosalind, I don't think we'll be having challenges. But the problem is, it should not be, and you asked my brother a very good question, that if you want to go into it, me, if I want to do akoko kete, it's not going to be a political callous.
Why?
How am I going to get the akoko kete? How an ordinary person because you see sometimes we must say the truth. We must say the truth. As for politicians, look, that's why some people, even in my own party, have issues with me because I say things just as it is. It shouldn't be, it should be shared to the constituency that we have, 275 constituency. Give us a list of people who want to do poultry farm. Give us a list of people who want to do pig farm. Give us a list of people who do catfish. Give us a list of people who do this. Eventually, the ordinary Ghanaian who is not a member of the NDC will not benefit. Meanwhile, that person will be the person who will rather even focus on it. And I can tell you, the last time I saw President Mahama's farm, I think he went to his farm, and I was surprised. Now, I can tell you that about 75 to 80% of politicians in this country are all into farming.
Okay. Now, talking about that, I like the fact that almost everybody is into farming, but then it looks like as we want to go ahead with this initiative, it's a fantastic one. Now, if you're home and you're watching us, send your messages to us on 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. Now, it's a good one. However, my thing is, we don't want a situation whereby one government starts something, the next comes and it stops. And that is why I said, back in the day, we used to have this. Where did we go wrong? Currently, we have a situation whereby I think that the housing hasn't helped us as Ghanaians because people need places to stay. There are so many buildings that are empty in certain places. Now, you did mention that place, what's it called? The one around the Ebrito booth. Amahia. People are building there. Why? There are houses in Cantonment, nobody's living there. There are houses in East Legon, nobody's living there. Even now, you go to Adenta, half the place is empty because people can't afford it. People would rather go and build in these places, and we don't have backyards anymore. And so some way, somehow, we need the government to be working with the housing unit to be able to have a situation where rent is affordable to the ordinary Ghanaian, where we have a situation where people can afford to live in certain areas as well, and then we can have our land that we use for farming. Because this conversation we are having, believe me, a lot of middle-class people cannot probably go into it. Caspar?
Why not? A lot of middle people could go into it.
How do they don't have the backyard?
It's not necessarily having a vast land. As I said earlier on, if you speak to the agronomy, they will tell you that you can do backyard garden, no matter the space. You can do this use ties to construct a farm where you can grow tomatoes, you can grow pepper, carrot, and then lettuce and others. So it's about being ready, being intentional about it, that I want to grow one of my food crops in my compound. As I said, some of us have vast lands, but we've not been intentional that I want to go into agric, because I think that agric is an afterthought. Agric should not be my first point of call when I need to end a career in any occupation. So we treat it like, people who fail in secondary school or who are not able to do well in the banking sector, who cannot become lawyers, they should go into agric. That's not the case. And it's not true that Feed Ghana program is just renaming of planting for food and jobs. As the CCN admits, this program is more comprehensive. You ask him about why all of a sudden we don't have school farms. Because growing up, as I said, when we were in secondary school, we have school farms. And he says it ended under Rollins. Some of us went to school not under Achampo, but we saw it in the days of Rollins when we have school gardens. We have orchards. We go there to work. At that time, most of the time, it used to be like a place of punishment. When they need to punish you, they say, go to orchard, go and water trees, and go and do all those things. It is something that all of a sudden, as a country, we have no focus on. And that is why the current president is saying that we must be intentional about it. Agriculture should not be an afterthought. So everybody, this is a call to you. Try to contribute to our agri-space. Try to contribute to make sure that we are food secured. So in your backyard, in your community, if there's any space that you have and you need seedlings, you need technical expertise to cultivate one of our food crops, or you want to go into livestock, government is ready to support you. So it cannot be the case that this comprehensive 9 components Feed Ghana program is the renaming of planting for food and jobs. And as I said, what is the impact of planting for food and jobs? He knows that his government went to ECOWAS and begged for 27,000 bags of maize. Today, this government is supposed to repay. So what was the impact of planting for food or jobs? Apart from fertilizer being smuggled out of this country, they had claimed that they were going to give every district a warehouse. What are the warehouses? What this government seeks to do under this Feed Ghana program is to create agro-processing zones or enclaves, where you put these warehouses. You have, if you need a dams, irrigation facilities, you construct these irrigation facilities. You make sure there is a continuous power in those enclaves. Instead of saying that you want to give every district a factory, you make sure you have these agro-processing enclaves where people can go and do agri-businesses. We're going to have farm banks or land banks where people can go to these communities, these areas, and do agri-activities. So it's not about just saying that it's planting for food and jobs. Planting for food and jobs was basically about crop. It was our plants. This one goes beyond just tree crops. Yeah, that's why we have the livestock aspect. You have the poultry. Then we have the tree development project, which seeks to make farmers to be intentional about palm oil, cashew, mango, shea, and others. So it's more comprehensive, well thought through than the planting for food and jobs, who are just a mere slogan. So we are going to
why do we say somebody's own was a slogan, but we don't say that ours could be a slogan? Because let's not forget that yours hasn't been rolled out for us to even know if it's going to be successful or not.
So I took you through the components of Feed Ghana.
Yeah, but they also gave us components.
No. What was it about? What was planting for food and jobs about? It was just one aspect of ours, planting for food and jobs. So it was basically about crop farming. This one is more comprehensive. We are talking about livestock. Yeah, we are talking about agro-processing enclaves.
Okay.
You're talking about institutional farming. He sits here and admits that Brian Champon started it. Brian Champon became Agriculture Minister in the last year of President Akufo-Addo. So what was Kukumenu doing as Agriculture Minister for 4 years? So for the past 8 years, it wasn't intentional. You weren't deliberate about making sure that our secondary schools contribute to our food market. Now you are saying that it's a good initiative. You've been in government for 8 years. What have you done in that life? You don't do anything about it. So we never had institutional farms as an intentional deliberate policy for secondary schools, the universities, and our prisons to grow any of our food crops. It had never happened. So that is the difference between what we are doing and what they did. We never had any vegetable development project where we are saying that people should grow their vegetables in their homes. So we have urban farming, peri-urban farming. Planting for food and jobs was basically like, okay, let's go to the farms. Let's support farmers with subsidized fertilizer. And this fertilizer go to the farmers. I come from the Upper East region. Fertilizer was smuggled every day out of Upper East region through the borders to Boko, Paga, and then others. The fertilizer was being smuggled out every day. It took the youth to always support the fertilizer.
So it's the same thing that I'm saying here. You see, as citizens, and I ask a question, how do we qualify for these things? Because when it was planting for food and jobs, it was beautiful, a beautiful initiative. We loved it. We heard so many things that were said, you know, how it was going to help with our feeding, cost of living was going to go down, food was going to be in abundance, blah, blah, blah. Perfect. Now, after a while, we kept on hearing, oh, fertilizer smuggled out, you know, this and that and that. These were things that were supposed to be used to help. Now we are hearing from Feed Ghana. We'll give seedlings.
Yes.
Oh, we'll give chicks.
Yes.
We'll give this, we'll give that. How can we say, or Ghanaians confidently say that, oh, of course, we are going to get it and it's not going to be smuggled out?
So, in the area of the initiative of revitalizing the poultry industry, we're going to support 50 anchored farmers. Anchored farmers means people who have the expertise, people who have been in the industry, they understand it. So, under them, they only supported 2 anchored farmers, Boris B and then Rockland. There were only 2 that they supported. We are looking at 50 because this government means business when we say we're going to reduce the importation of poultry. We might not be able to end it, but we are going to reduce it significantly by the end of this term of President Mahama. So we are doing things in a different way. By using people who have the expertise, who have the technical know-how, we're going to recruit 5,000 veterinary and then extension officers to provide technical expertise. So if you just give these things out to party apparatchiks or food soldiers without providing the technical skills, you will lose them at the end of the day. So we are not going to be repeating the mistakes they made. You have the institutions. You can't tell them the University of Ghana do not have the technical know-how to have a successful institutional farm. That cannot be the case. You can't tell me that if you support a Presec or a Bree Girls, any of the secondary schools, they will not succeed. So we are using the people who have the technical know-how to embark on this thing. It's not just going to be thrown out there like they did. So that is the difference. Well thought through. We are using the people who have the expertise to execute it. So there's going to be success in this Feed the Ghana program as compared to planning for food jobs. As for who qualifies, as I said, one, you must be ready so that you're able to start the process and get to its end. Don't just say because government is giving free seedlings, you're going to take it. If you don't have the love, you're not interested in agri, we won't give it to you. Don't go. And we're going to be intentional. We're going to check these people to check their background.
And it's not going to be party for students?
Not at all. Not at all.
I don't have to present my party card?
Not at all. Not at all.
If I'm an NPP card-bearing member and you have seen me on TV defending the NPP heavily, will you go ahead and give me a check?
You're a Ghanaian. John Dramani Mahama that no, it's not discriminatory. It's not about where you come from. Is
it John Dramani Mahama who is going to be sharing?
He's not going to be sharing, but everybody who works at John Dramani knows that John Dramani is very loving. He's inclusive. He's not the type who will say you come from this part of the country, you're not a Ghanaian. No. He's very inclusive. And look at how he has gone about it. So once John Dramani says Feed Ghana is supposed to support everybody who wants to go into farming. If I sit there as the coordinator for poultry fertilization program, when you come there, I'll make sure we do due diligence on you to be sure that this is a young man who growing up, he has shown interest in poultry. Or he has already started something on his or her own. Before just saying that because government is doing it, that's why you want to go into it. You have to be sure that this apple, some of them have already tried it. Government is only enabling and facilitating for them to take it to a broader scale. So we are going to be embarking on this due diligence that whoever applies is somebody who can actually deliver the impact we want. Party colors is not going to be used to decide who benefits from it. Every Ghanaian who wants to go
for the party colors, when the time is up, we'll come back and we'll talk about it because we know how people, especially we Ghanaians, we are. No, this person doesn't belong to my party. Why do you want to empower this person? This person, and you know that has been the case, and that's why we are where we are today as a country. So when the time comes, today we will know.
We have Honorable has a land. Mahama's government that are not NDC.
Honorable has a land. It didn't happen. It didn't happen at I will
Everybody was taken out of government when the Akufo-Addo took over.
All right.
Today we have people, MPP functionaries, several presidential government.
Honorable.
So if you have come to contribute, your party colors will not deter you or not prevent you from being part of the development of the country.
Honorable, please, your land, what do you want to rear on it?
Oh.
You want to rear or you want to plant?
I'm doing both.
You're doing both?
Yes. In fact, I've even started.
Casper will lead us to go.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. Good. And Eric will give it to you.
And let us know if you will support or not. Right after your submission, I'll read some messages so you can keep your messages coming in.
When I started, I said, yes, indeed. This is a very laudable initiative that they are bringing. But I see it as a renaming of the planting for food and job. I said all the things that Eric Opoku have said that I've listened to him. I recommended him for it. And I continue to say that yes, if and only if the things that we are saying, or he and President John Mahama at the lunch said we are to go by it, it will be beneficial to all of us as Ghanaians. I don't want to sound so partisan because look, the situation in which we find ourselves is not about NDC and an MPP issue. But if you want to go by partisan issue, you started guinea fowl rearing in the north. What happened to the guinea fowl? What happened to the guinea fowl? We're in this country. In fact, a place where they reared guinea fowl is in the north, the three northern regions at that time. What happened to it? We're in this country. President John Mahama, giving his State of the Nation address, brought a Muslim that he had given him toothpick for her, Amina. What happened to what happened to it? So when we are applauding certain things that is being done, and you try to bring partisan issue in it, I will end up by referring you to a lot of things that you have done in your government that at the end of the day, Ghanaians lost a lot of money. You talk about planting. Dry season. We were planting trees in the north. And at that time, your former colleague who was here was a key reporter on this guinea fowl and the planting for the tree planting. Manasseh Azuri, a very good friend of mine, stand Presbyterian also like me.
I thought you were Catholic.
No, me, I'm a Presbyterian.
Oh, I see. All right.
I'm a strong Presbyterian.
Okay.
You are just a runaway Catholic.
Oh my gosh.
But I have a strong affiliation with the Catholic Church because they are close to my house. So most of the time, their programs I do attend. Yes. What happened to those things? We end up by spending a lot of money. At the end of the day, we're told that where they are doing the, how do you call it, the guinea fowl is close to Burkina Faso. So they all flew to Burkina Faso. We're told that because the trees were planted during dry season, all these trees have dried off. So when you come back here and sit here and say, oh, what did your government do? What did your government do? The money that you put into yours, the same President Mahama at that time was the president. What happened to those things? So for me, I believe strongly that, look, issue, yes, for the secondary school, I buy into it. For that one, I buy into it 100% at the prisons. Because look, the challenges that we have in the secondary school, recently I heard Aruna Dusu saying that, in fact, Mahama during his campaign saying that when he wins, double track will be the things of the past. Now, Aruna Dusu is saying that 2027, before it will end double track. The major problem that we have in a secondary school is food.
It's food. And accommodation, though.
Yes. But the major problem is food. The major problem is food. So if we are able to solve the accommodation problem, what happens to the food? So the food, it is easily to be solved than the accommodation. Because the accommodation will take some months and some years to complete a dormitory in a particular school. But with the planting for Feed Ghana, tomatoes, onion, okra, pepper, all those things, within a month, 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And but
you can harvest.
Yes.
Especially tomatoes.
But one caution. You see, when you go to the villages, you can see somebody 95, 96, 100 and this. It's because of the food that they eat. And there are no chemicals. Now you go to Agbogbroshi, somebody will just buy yam from the north. Within 3-4 days, you go to the market, they are throwing a lot of them away because of the chemicals. I want to appeal to the minister to ensure that these opportunities that will be given to farmers, we have to look at it critically, that it will not end up by creating healthy problem for us. Because at the end of the day, if I go to the market and I buy tomatoes, or we are putting chemical, in fact, you know, I have only one place that I buy banana. The whole of Accra, I have only one place.
You buy the local one, right?
The local, I don't like the foreign banana. I don't like foreign things, so I don't listen to foreign music. I don't watch this Manchester, Chelsea. No, I don't do those things.
You support Accra Suffolk?
Oh, never say that.
Until the bones are up.
But they always disappoint.
Don't worry, we'll win.
They always disappoint.
Don't worry, it's part of life. Arsenal Accra is there. They are winning now. What about Accra Suffolk? That's what I'm saying. Don't worry, we will win.
Thank you.
Yes.
You see, most of these people who sell banana and then they put cardboard on it.
Yeah.
So that as soon, and the first time I bought banana somewhere, and that woman, anytime I pass that area, I always insult her in my head. Because the next day, Rosalind, I end up in the hospital. I get some rashes and all those things. So I found out from a friend who lives around that area. So my dad could do or the cardboard neguso. So you get reactions. So me, there's only one place that I buy banana. I wherever I am and I want banana, I will drove from that place to come and buy it from in fact I went to a house. So me, I don't buy banana and those things outside. And if I come to your house and there's banana, I will not eat. Because I know what others do. Because of my experience.
Yeah.
I pre-assume that maybe the one that you are buying from is also doing the same thing. So we have to check all those things.
Yeah. Anyway, so you have to send your messages to us. Let's get to know if you're happy about the Feed Ghana project. I nearly said planting for food and jobs. Let's get to know if you're happy about the Feed Ghana project, which the NDC government has launched. If you're happy about it, we want to know what your happiness is all about, all right? So we are going to be taking a few messages and then we can continue with our next topic. All right, so I'll start with here. This one says, good morning, Roslyn. If your household does a backyard garden, will reduce food insecurity by 50%. I enjoy farming as a hobby. My house, I have banana, plantain, mango, pawpaw, pepper, cassava, and sometimes maize. In fact, most Ghanaian youth are very lazy. They see farming as a job for illiterates. Let's also use our prisoners to do farming rather than confining them in the yard while government has to look for money to feed them. There will be enough food to eat and even export to other countries if we take farming seriously. Robert from Elmina. Now, talking about this, you know, again, back in the day, the prisoners were farming. And not in their institution per se, but on these lands, if you have a land and you are into farming, you can actually get them and they'll come and weed the place for you. And I think it was government initiative as well, right, with that. But it stopped. It stopped. Anyway, good morning, madam. Please tell the NP, that's Honorable Ebenezer Nate, having Muslim name does not mean you're a Muslim by bed man polibu. All right. Good morning, Joy Prime. Not every Amina is a Muslim. Honorable, this one. All right. Let me read a few quick. Sometimes, you know, this is digital, so it's a bit. Good morning, Joy Prime. The difference between Feed Ghana and Planting for Food is that one was a mere slogan, just like Free SHS, which started without policy docs or stakeholder inputs from PCA. Feed Ghana is a well thought out project with free technical support like tractors, seeds, chicks, fertilizers, plows, cultivators in all districts to help boost food production. Under FG, government will provide markets for farm produce to avoid post-harvest losses. The difference is very clear. Well, until it's rolled out for us to see how it is, unfortunately, what we can do is to just say that, okay, it's been launched. And so it's about the rollout. It's because we have seen it before. You know, we've seen it before. And so we just want to see that. That's what we pray for. For me, I think I'll be on board as well.
You have to come on board.
I'm definitely on board because I'm going to make sure that I also go into farming.
Great.
I think that's the next place to make millions.
Great.
So I'll go into farming. The Feed Ghana program should be inclusive and accessible to all interested individuals. Many passionate people want to venture into agriculture, but startup capital is a major hurdle. That's so true. To address this, will the program offer funding opportunities or support mechanisms? Additionally, will district offices be established to provide easy access to support and resources for interested farming? Casper, I think you should answer this.
What is the question?
Okay, so he's trying to understand, will there be like maybe an office, will there be a capital for people that want to start? Because there are people who want to start and they want capital.
No, so, I mean, the Farming Service Center is to provide technical support and other farm equipment. So you don't need capital.
Okay.
You don't need capital. If it is, you want to go into poultry, you'll be given the chicks.
Okay, so you have to find your own place.
Definitely.
All right.
But there will be land banks.
Okay.
So when we have the land banks, people could go there to cultivate their crops.
Oh, there's land bank?
Yes, as part of the agro-processing enclaves and zones.
Okay.
We have land banks for people to go there, acquire a portion for farming.
Please explain the land bank to those who don't understand what a land bank is.
Saying?
Come on. Honorable.
I think it was in their campaign, promise. So please explain what the land bank is.
The land banks has to do with government getting dedicated lands for farming.
Okay.
So district assemblies will dedicate a portion of their lands for farming. So that if you want to go into farming, then you go there. So if you don't have land on your own to do farming, you go there, you will be given a portion to do the farming. So that's why we have the land banks.
Forever?
No. Okay. No, it's temporal. If you are no longer interested in farming, it is for that.
So what we give it to you for a period?
What I'm trying to say is that maybe you come to Ayawaso Central here. There's a vast land here. They negotiate with the owners of the land, maybe 50 acres of land. Then government, through the assembly, will acquire that land. And then if you want to go into maybe tomatoes you want to go into something that you don't have a land, you go to the assembly. That's okay. Then you will give you maybe one plot of land or maybe 1 acre. Out of the 50 acres, you will take 1 acre. Or somebody also can. I want to do pottery. Okay, you also take 2 acres.
Okay.
That's what he means.
So
we are hoping and believing.
But then it's more or less like a contract, right?
Not necessarily a contract. It's about giving land to do farming.
No,
when you're no longer interested in farming.
No, I'm asking for a reason because let's say we have 50 acres, okay, and there are 100 people that want to farm.
Yeah.
And you want to give 1 acre per person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what happens to the other 50 people? So are we saying that, okay, the first 50 will farm for probably first 2 years, and then the next 50 we can give it to you for the next 2 years, and the next 50, so we rotate, or it's going to be once you get the land, you can farm out until you're tired?
No. Once you are interested in farming and you are the first occupant of the land and you want to continue farming, you continue. If you get to a point, realize that there's more interest and the land that we've acquired is not enough, you go look for land in other places.
So it's first come, first served?
Yes, you go look for land in other places. Not necessarily that very place that people have to rotate on it. You go to other places and look for land for the same farming activity.
Okay. All right. This sounds very interesting.
It's a great initiative.
All right. So
it's a game changer.
It sounds interesting in some areas.
It's a game changer.
In Accra, for instance, it will be extremely difficult for you to get land in Accra.
No,
especially when it comes to the vast aspect.
No, so Accra, you are promoting urban gardening. Not necessarily the kind of gardening you do in the outskirts of Accra. So it's more about urban gardening, where you can do the bucket gardening, using the tiles, greenhouse farming, and all those kind of. So
that means that one goes straightly into house farming.
Yes, urban gardening.
Okay.
Urban gardening.
Okay, all right. Anyway, Ebenezer continues. He says he's a physician assistant. Are there processes or plans in place to track funding or support rendered to beneficiaries of the Feed Ghana program? These are questions, very, very important questions that have to be
that is where the problem, we're looking at funding. This is not about funding.
No, he's talking about tracking. How will you track
if you
that?
Giving me
you have given me money, or you're giving me seedlings, or you give me chicks.
So I'm saying this program is not going to give people money.
Okay.
If your household is giving chickens to rear as part of
it's still money.
We have track records of you. Is that okay?
Okay.
And we'll have the 5,000 graduates that are supposed to be recruited as veterinary extension.
So they'll be checking up on you.
They'll be checking up on you. They will help you. They will provide you the needed training, skills, monitor them if you need to vaccinate them at a point. So there will be a comprehensive monitoring and evaluation process. We're not going to give to people and let them go. No.
All right.
We'll have data on every farmer who will support it.
Okay, so he continues by saying, when distributing seedlings for this program, I advise our leaders to be proactive and distribute them during the rainy season, not the dry season. I recall that last year, a large quantity of trees was distributed, but it was done during the dry season, and ultimately, they all withered and died. The effort yielded no result, which is a loss for the country. To maximize the impact, I recommend synchronizing seedling distribution with the rainy season to ensure optimal growth and survival rates. Thank you so much, Ebenezer. That's a good one. Good morning. If only it wouldn't be like planting for food and jobs, where the money will be in the pocket of the minister who does not work on any farm and rather be given to farmers to buy their farm inputs, then it's a good idea. Jake, we are yet to know how it's going to be. Good morning, Roslyn. Please, I'm bleeding currently. It's a curse to be an African. Can you believe the PURC will support the increase in tariffs after all this mess in ECG? PURC must go. Ibrahim Tumu. All right, so this one I wanted to see was it Akonsi Gariba from Tamale says that, where's from this one too? Okay, so good morning, Joy Prime and its viewers. I'm not politically inclined, but listening to this conversation is revealing that Mr. Caspar is on the trail of promoting their political ambitions. Ghanaians appreciate your initiatives, but when the right measures are not put in place, the same political affiliations will swallow the initiative alike. You can deny the rightful persons who have the requisite knowledge on how to maximize productivity like you want, but when these opportunities are shared amongst the party members, then they tend to miss mismanaged. Give less care to these farmers. These farms, all in the name that it is a political thing. Talking about requirements, I think it should not only be about interest, but also consider that the spacing that can groom these livestock very well as capital to cushion the farmers. To me, the NPP representative has to be commended for his political indifference on the issue. That's so true. Let's put aside politics when a good initiative is inaugurated, but look at how to gain the objective behind its implementation without politicizing it. Abdul Razak Idrisu Nibisi Tumu Sisala East. Thank you so much, Abdul. That's a good one. Thank you very much. Akonsi Garibasa said that. Good morning, Roslyn. How can a sensitive government increase salaries of workers in Ghana to 10% and go ahead to increase electricity tariff to 14.7% and water by 4%? Sadly, the current inflation rate in Ghana is 23%. How do you expect Ghanaians to survive with these excruciating taxes? My question to Ghanaians is that, did we go or did we come? My regards to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. All right. Gasti Man Brekum says, you must always remember that in life, you'll always reap whatever you sow. Nobody wants to mingle politics into the Boko conflict, but the only solution is for the politicians who took advantage of the conflict. I'm sorry, this is not, like I said, it's because of these, messages. That's why we decided to stay away from, this particular conversation. If you send me messages on Boko, you're not going to say that we are praying for peace for the people of Boko. I will not read your message. I'm not here to come and blame anybody for what is happening in Boko. What we need right now is peace to reign in Boko, and that's the most important thing. The Feed Ghana project is a nice initiative, but do you remember during 2024 campaign, President Mahama is on record to have said all branch executives will be empowered so that their children will get jobs. The party colors has been shown already. Even those who had legal appointments like national service are being threatened to be sacked. How much more jobs that are not by appointment? This is a clear job for the boys. Ghanaians are watching closely. Master Planner Kintampo. Honorable, do you believe it's a job for the boys?
Rosalind, in my open submission, I said it, that this can only beneficial to entire country when we take partisan from it. But the municipal chief executive will not sit in his or her office and will be instructed that give me 10 people who are interested in poultry, give me 10 people who are interested in tomatoes farm. If we don't go by that, then I believe that Ghanaians will benefit out of it. But if it is something to go by, that I can tell you, it will be the same thing. It will be the same job now, because if you don't get appointment, then the only thing you have to do is to go into farming. And when you are going to farming, you can be...
But they're not going to give you money. That's the thing. They're just giving you chicks and seedlings.
So the seedlings, where are they going to get the seedlings from?
No, but what I'm saying is that, you know how Ghanaians are. If you are saying that I'm giving you money...
Is the seedlings not money?
I even said it earlier.
Yes.
But my point is that this is a case whereby you have to work to get the money in your pocket. Do you understand?
Yes.
So they are giving you a startup. So it's not them putting money in your pocket. So it's up to you as to whether you will make sure that what they've given to you, you reap from it and make money, or you will not.
I am MPP.
Yeah.
I go to the assembly. The assembly decided that the assembly knows for a fact that I can't do it, or I can do it. He has checked, he have come, they have done everything possible to see that, yes, Eben have a cage that you can put the bears there, blah, 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 everything is set. My brother doesn't have, but because of the political colors, he's being given. What happened to it?
That was not going to be the case.
Okay.
That's the assurance you are giving.
That's the assurance that you are giving this morning. Okay.
That's the assurance that you are giving. And we hope so.
We hope so.
Yes.
That's what Ghanaians are asking for. Good morning, everyone. The NPP repealed over 10 taxes in 2017 when they took over power and did not increase electricity tariff in 2017. Even in 2018, the NPP reduced electricity tariffs by 17%. But what are we seeing today? Just a repeal of e-levy and betting tax. Our tariffs are going up by 14%. That's a reset the promised Ghanaians. This is just the beginning. Christian from Sandema. Good morning, Roslyn. The biggest problem in this country is the level of hypocrisy among us Pro to 2024 elections, the NDC made all sorts of allegations against the previous government concerning... Good morning, Roslyn. Please, can you ask the NPP rep to tell Ghanaians which part of the north the NPP designated for poultry farm in the north? They should stop the lies. We are wide awake and won't give their... No, he didn't say anything about that. We are sorry, but... okay. Okay, good morning, Joy Prime. It's very unhealthy and sad to notice the way politicians are taking workers for granted. The new government gave workers 10% base pay with a promise to make sure that inflation reduces drastically. Ironically, nothing substantial has happened so far. They have now increased utilities against the measured 10%. We are therefore calling on our union leaders to start working on a very meaningful COLA for workers immediately. Are the politicians more important than us? Look at the allocation they have appropriated for themselves. Bring COLA now. Thanks. Okay. Good morning, Roslyn. Encouraging backyard farming is a positive step towards food security. However, the success of this initiative hinges on addressing the significant issue of livestock damaging gardens and farms. A clear and strictly enforced policy is needed to hold owners accountable for the actions of their animals, regardless of their background. This policy should include appropriate penalties for negligence and measures to prevent future damage. Timothy Annabella from Bechim. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, Roslyn. As much as we are all calling for peace in Boko, let's make sure that the right things are done. Okay. I've said it time and again. I'm not going to be reading certain things about Boko if it's going to cause issues. I don't know what is involved in your message. It's a live show. I don't have the time to peruse it before I put it on air. So unfortunately, I won't be reading things concerning Boko. Thank you so much. Good morning, Joy Prime, KMJ, and Roslyn, and I see Edua. You guys are looking fantastically superb and cute. Are we going back to the dark days where people masked and committed atrocities in the name of revolution? No wonder the president once said that they have revolutionary roots. Why should people mask themselves with weapons and without arrest warrant to arrest civilians and, of course, members of parliament? Are we now living in Banana Republic where people we give power to can curtail our rights and freedoms? The fact that some people did that in the past doesn't justify the repetition of the wrongs. Was that not the reason why we voted against them? If we are not careful, these bad behaviors would bring chaos, instability, and conflicts because some people or some wouldn't kowtow or surrender to those uncivilized behaviors from people who should have known better. Roslyn, I said KMJ, okay, it means that you are not really watching, you just sent the message. I don't believe that media is the fourth estate or organ of government, because most journalists are partisan and biased towards a particular political party, and they are not objective at all. Until all journalists and media persons become independent, fearless, credible, and non-partisan, like you, KMJ, okay, like you, KMJ, for that I'll give it to KMJ, they can be regarded as the fourth estate in the candid opinion. I really like your objectivity and unbiased posture. Is this person watching? I don't think this person is watching. This person is not watching. Good morning, Roslyn. I think we have to recommend the current government for this laudable program to feed our country. Roslyn, let's plan and get land to also be in this program. True, we have to be in this program. My regards to Sister Zanetta. Okay, this is coming from Rollins Boy in Cape Coast. He said, let's peace prevail in Boko. Peace, peace, peace. Yes, that's true. Boko deserves better. Boko deserves peace. God save our brothers and sisters in Boko. Master Planner, Junior King Temple. Thank you so much, Master Planner, for this. Good morning, Princess. Some people don't want Ghana to progress, so any good thing the government wants for the people, they attack it verbally. Look at Burkina Faso. All right. Musa Abatwa Asawasi, good morning. Exciting progress at the National Service Tomato Farms in Kumawu. This week, 49,500 seedlings have been successfully transplanted onto hectares. Oh, but they haven't started it here too. So, Musa Abatwa, it hasn't been started. It was just launched yesterday. So this.
Oh, so you're saying the National Service Tomato Farms? That's the National Service.
Yeah, but yes. So they have a farm already.
Yes.
I know, but I'm just saying that he's saying it like somebody will think it's to do with it.
Have been successfully transported.
So if you read it like this, somebody will think that the Feed Ghana project has started. It hasn't started. This is for the National Service Authority. Okay, so NPP always defends his party. Okay, that's why he's MPP. Teacher Kujo Tepa, President Mahama told the Boko youth. Okay, so I think that will be it. No, I'm sorry, I'm not. If you are not sending me messages, that is all about peace for Boko. I'm not reading it. I've said it and I'll keep on saying it again and again. I think I'll come back. Let's go to our next topic, okay? And then we'll come back and read more. Oh, this is a lady sending me a message. I've never read this one, so I'll read a lady. It's coming from Cameroon. Hello, good morning. I'm watching Family Arena. Oh, you're watching Family Arena in Cameroon. I love your TV program very much. I saw that yesterday, and it was good. Full of knowledge. Just to add that during projection, example, gambled words. Please let the public see as well. Okay, says, I'm Loveline Nene from Cameroon. Loveline, thank you so much for sending this message. Feedback well taken, okay? Thank you so much. All right, so let's move to our next topic. National Service, Party for Soldiers. You want to take over. National Service said, no, we won't allow it to happen. And so, talking about that, we have heard the National Service Authority Staff Union condemns political interference in internal operations. Some people or some party soldiers have decided to take part in internal programs, and the National Service Authority Staff Union is not too happy about it. Now, talking about that, they did issue a statement, and it says that we strongly condemn the practice of political party for soldiers attempting to hijack the National Service Authority. This phenomenon undermines the principle of democracy, erodes public trust, and compromises the integrity of our institution. They have urged that this should stop. And they also say that the recruitment and internal transfers are governed by the National Service Authority Act 2024, Act 1119, the Public Service Commission Act 1994, Act 482, and Act 195 of the 1992 Constitution. And so they are backed by these acts in the Constitution. Hence, they do not want any party for soldier trying to come in there and change their affairs in there. And they have also urged the youth of Western Region, especially, to stay off. Those party boys in the Western Region seems to be the ones who are causing more of the chaos. Honorable, you had a heavy, breathing ongoing. What's happening?
Rosalind, if care is not taken, it will be extremely difficult for us as a country to develop. And it will be difficult for people to even work in government institutions. Because honestly, we have now turned the country into a political arena in everything. Look, now every government institution is either NDC or MPP. And we are not getting results of what we are supposed to get as a country. Those in the ministries, departments, and agencies, because it's this government that is there, and because I'm affiliated to this government, I'll be doing this to sabotaging this government. Another government also comes. Then those who are also affiliated to the previous government will also be sabotaging that government. It is not helping us as a country. In fact, one thing that President Nanado's administration, which I was so emphatic, and I was in Parliament at that time, that we'll all rally behind it to see to it come into pass, is the election of MNDCs. But what happened? Our brothers on the other side threw politics into it. went around and said all manner of things, and the bill was withdrawn in Parliament. Today, we have some of their own people also saying that, yes, we need to elect our MNDCs. Rosalind,
but we know MMDC has been political for a very long time. You see, their flyers, even though there was going to be voting. That was the argument
of the MPP.
But even though there was going to be voting, your flyers were showing party colors.
MNDCs is different from assembly members.
But there was
what we were saying is that, yes, already on paper, it's non-partisan. But on the ground, it is partisan. So let's go by, yes. So we agree that, look, we shouldn't be hypocrites and say that, oh, it is not partisan. But meanwhile, on the ground, it is partisan. At the end of the day, it is better for us to say that, look, if that be the case, let's make it partisan. Let's go and vote. They said, no. We will not agree. When we do that, we are destroying the local government structure. We are doing this. Today, they are calling for it. Rosalind, why am I saying this? It's because of what is happening at the National Service. Some of these people are civil servants. The worst you can do is to transfer some of them. And it does not lie in the powers. Look, I spoke to a coordinating director. What's honorable? Me try some free no more. Because the threat on me, somebody will come to the office, we MPP, you free her. A civil servant. So
at the National Service Secretariat?
No, at Assembly. A municipal coordinating director. And you just watch. When the MMDCs are just those that are being confirmed, if they are able to finish with everything, you just mark it on the wall. The number of coordinating directors who will be transferred from where they are. Because you'll be seeing them as, oh, this person is NDC, and it's not helping us as a country. Because look, somebody has been there as a coordinating director for maybe 3-4 years. You just came as a municipal chief executive within a month or a week. You need some institutional memory. You need somebody who will guide you. No, this is what we have done. Yeah. This is a report that your predecessor have left. Okay, in the case of because currently as we are speaking, President John Mahama said that all former MNDCs should go. But when he was swearing the following week, and he asked the coordinating directors to act as MNDCs. So if the person comes and you call that the person should go, where are you going to start from? Because you are going to bring a new coordinating director who might not have much knowledge about what his predecessor have done in that assembly. But it's not helping us.
And which era did this start?
It's not about era when this thing started.
I'm just asking though.
It has started since Rawlings' time. And that's what I'm saying, that it is not helping us as a country. Yeah. That's back just last week, even President John Mahama have issued some directors in some of the key institutions that they should how do you call it?
They should go home.
Go home. Chief directors. And it's called by the new act that they have done, he has the powers. But why should he be so? These are civil servants. These are not, how do you call it, people that will say that, yes, they are affiliated to a political party. Look, there was a time, I think 2017 to 2018, at the airport, I met one chief director who was working at one of the assemblies, and he went to contest in Eastern region, one of the constituencies. I know the constituency, I know the person he contested with. I think he traveled, and I don't know what is happening at the airport. Come and see, he was shouting, blah, 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 blah. And I get close, I say, Master, you, the mess that you caused at your assembly, you, during your time as a director in charge of housing, the number of flood and the number of people that lost their life as a director, what did you do about it? Then, only me. I'm saying, then he tried to put them, don't do that. You are a director. If you have a challenge here, the best thing you have to do is to go to whoever is in charge here and talk to the person.
Yeah.
I mean, but what is happening now? But after service crap, I say with the Ekitwa. Oh, this one is something. Look, excuse me, and those who are eating should forgive me. Even toilets, public toilets,
has become political.
When is a change of government, then people will go, oh, now you people have won, so take the keys and manage the toilets. Public toilets. Public toilets. I mean, we have changed this country. We have done everything. And you see, me, I don't blame.
For me, my
Look,
question is,
Rosemary,
how did we get here, and how can we stop it? Because we
are in a country. We are in a country that we have NDC pastors and NPP pastors. We're in a country we have NDC lawyers, NPP lawyers. We're in a country we have NPP doctors, NDC doctors. I mean, how can we develop? Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Anyway, let me come to Caspar with it. Caspar.
Rose.
Yes.
It's interesting. Listen to Honorable. Before that, he had made this false narrative that they had been repeating all this while about guinea fowls flying from northern Ghana to Burkina Faso and all that. Manasseh, who conducted this documentary, said he never said anywhere that guinea fowl flew from northern part of Ghana to Burkina Faso. So you stop that lie. Guinea fowl never flew anywhere. If or anything at all, there was a time where my sister, Superintendent of Asada, where 40,000 tricycles disappeared. That is a reality. After the guinea fowl, ABB's creation, it has never happened. They dug dugouts. One village, one dam, you remember. The dams, what is this lady's name? Say 250,000 could not construct any dam. We call them tasty the dams of the north. Dams they've constructed are tasty for water. That's how they embark on their agri policies. So we are going to be doing things differently. They are not our standard. So we should not compare us to how plentiful food and job fed, thinking that
I'm happy that we are not your standard.
Yeah, we have our own
you
standard.
Cannot be our standard.
No. You are below our standard. That's why Ghanaians give you. That's why Ghanaians give 28%.
For me, I don't think
that's why Ghanaians give
like a standard. The most important thing is we get the work
thing that you have like, you cannot even give a roadmap.
Let's get the work
24-hour economy, but up to today, now you have even forgotten about 24 hours.
Let's get the work done. Please,
your standard is poor.
Let's not even talk about standards here. Let's talk about what you do.
So I'm saying that we are doing things differently. The Funding for Feed Ghana program is not going to be planning for food and job. It's a well thought out comprehensive policy that is going to make sure that agri contributes significantly to our economy. On the National Service Authority and the issues coming out of it, I hear my big brother talk about how we've made politics, have made every state institution a partisan creation. And you ask the question, how did we get here? Politics has always been with us. We didn't start partisan politics under Mahama. But Akufo-Addo and Bawumia escalated partisan politics to heights that we've never seen. Today, there's a certain man, Dr. Banahini, sitting at the Electoral Commission. A communicator like me was appointed and taken to the Electoral Commission, which was supposed to be non-partisan. Everybody was against it. They said he's a Ghanaian, so he could serve there. When the optics are, this is a partisan person, a communicator of MPP, he's sitting at the Electoral Commission. So if you are a civil servant and you decide to do partisan politics and government changes hands, and people are saying that you don't believe in the vision of the government of the day, walk out. And it's only Western region.
But it's not just in Western region. We are talking about this from National Service Secretary, but we are seeing it happen everywhere.
And I'm saying that what we are seeing today is even, a small portion of what we saw under MPP.
No, but it doesn't.
Really?
So you see, the thing is that
really,
when we
talk
about
CEOs who are appointed to system,
I get you. But why do you think Ghanaians voted them out? Now they are in opposition. So if you use them as a yardstick, what they did, then it means that you are emulating what they did at the Ghanaians saw as wrong.
I said earlier on that the MPP is not our standard.
Okay.
So we have our own
but you are still saying that let's look at what they did.
No, I said they did worse and they escalated it.
Yes, so you do better.
We are doing better.
No,
that is why we have CEOs appointed by Akufo-Addo still serving in government.
But we are seeing this happening where even a National Service has issued a communique saying that they are invading India's space.
So this staff association.
Yes.
That is saying that Fatu Days are taking over their offices.
Yes.
You understand? And I'm saying that what we've seen there and we are complaining about, we saw worse under them.
We are not talking about them. We are talking about you.
Yes.
It's your time.
No.
How do you prevent it from happening? How do you stop it?
We are going to stop it, and that is why the president is saying that if you have an opportunity to, serve, you will give an opportunity. But I'm saying that they escalated partisan politics. Now, civil servants. So they are partisan civil servants serving. And they did things that everybody thinks that you don't deserve to be there. He mentions coordinating directors who says that they are going to resign. If you're on a party platform campaigning, doing partisan politics, and government changes hands, it's only fair that once you don't believe in the vision and the mandate, you walk out because you are not going to be objective.
Are we not Ghanaians?
You're not saying you're not a Ghanaian.
You don't think that they
but
also
we
feel
must
that
have values. We must have principles. We must have values and principles. If you sit on a platform as a civil servant and say Mahama has no vision, he will not become president, he is use all manner of words to describe the president. Today, the next day, he become president. And you want him to trust you? And the president will say he's sacking everybody who is in the civil sector, servants. No, the president never said that. I never said that. I'm saying that these are party foods.
No, if you are
I am saying that if you have principles,
and you think that
I'm saying if you have principles.
My argument is that points, please.
If you have principles and values, and you think that the vision of the president is not something you believe in, walk out. That's the point I'm making. And I'm saying that
a civil servant.
But you want out there to do
that belongs to president.
That civil servants are
that institution belongs to Mahama.
Honorable.
I'm not saying that nobody sack anybody.
Casper, wait.
Oh God.
We are in a world that everybody has an opinion.
Very well.
And that's why they say opinions are like noses.
Great.
The fact that I don't believe in what you're saying doesn't mean that I cannot work with you to achieve what you want to achieve. There are times that, yes, Casper will say, I want to put my water here. And I tell Casper, no, put your water here. Casper will say, no, I still want to put my water here. It doesn't mean that I have to walk you off the set.
No, I'm not saying
And so, yes, the person is a civil servant.
Yes.
Might not believe, but once the person is there, the person has to work and make sure that there's a target and you achieve it. It's different if the person is not achieving the target and you're letting the person go.
The government does not sack anybody in terms of civil servants. This is party food, so you're saying that this person is MPP. He should leave the space.
How are party food soldiers the ones decided?
Like you said, everybody has an opinion. So party food soldiers are also Ghanaians.
No, it's an opinion, but they are taking over. That's what the problem is.
I don't know how they've taken over that space.
But that's what the people are saying.
No, that's what they are saying. Yes. But I'm not sure the party food soldiers have occupied that office in Western region. They've not occupied it. They are agitating that the person should go. You understand? They have not taken over the office. They are agitating. And I'm saying that if you are a civil servant and you are going to be working as a civil servant, your ethics, professional ethics require you not to be partisan. You decide to be partisan and talked a lot about how a candidate is not good to become president. That candidate has come. So if you think that the candidate I'm going to put water here, you think that you shouldn't put the water there. He comes and says, I'm going to put the water here, and you don't believe in it. I am saying that if you have principles and values, walk out from that space.
Why should I walk out?
It will compromise how you deliver the services. Because you don't believe in it. This stuff you are talking about, we're in national service. When 80,000 ghost names were sitting in their books, probably they facilitated these ghost names. We lost 50 million Ghana cedis every month under this previous government. And this service staff were able to facilitating it. They never raised any concern about 80,000 ghost names. Today, all of a sudden, they think that they can raise concerns about party food saying that you are too partisan. You were against this government. You're going to compromise the government's agenda. Now you're organizing a press conference, you're leaving press statement. But 80,000 ghost names, you never raise a concern about it. You understand? So the point I'm making is that, Rosalind, we've come to government. People have opinions. Party membership are looking at this government to deliver the public good. At every point in time, if party members think that there's somebody in the public sector who will compromise it, they have the right to raise concerns. And they only raise concerns.
But it shouldn't come from party foot soldiers.
When you say party foot soldier, who is a party foot soldier?
Who is a party foot soldier?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes. We have members of the party. They are Ghanaians. They pay dues.
Okay.
You understand?
If every member of a political party gets up and says, this person is not a member of our party, so evacuate where you are.
But that's what
when we get to...
Listen, you're not getting the point.
Don't we abide by laws and laws in the country? Don't we have a situation whereby if the person doesn't have to be there, we should have a situation where we have the authorities taking the person out rather than having foot soldiers take the law into their hands and saying that we want this person.
You are looking at it because you think that foot soldiers are inferior Ghanaians. They cannot protest.
I never said inferior Ghanaians.
The point I'm making is that let me learn. I'm saying that protest is a tool we use in democracy. You know that. Protest is allowed. Strikes are allowed. Demonstrations are allowed. So I'm saying that if Ghanaians, which you decide to call them foot soldiers, because when they are foot soldiers, you don't have the right to protest. And I'm saying you're wrong.
Nobody said that.
Good. So they are only protesting that person you brought there will not help the government to deliver its mandate. So they take the person out. It's just a normal protest. But because you call it foot soldiers, you know foot soldiers have the right to protest. Any other person could protest.
No, Casper, let's not get it wrong so that the foot soldiers out there will think that we are looking down on them. I'm not looking down on them.
Yes, but why can't they not protest?
No, I didn't say that. I said that is it not only right that the authorities, so we have President Mahama.
Yes.
We have maybe somebody goes there as the CEO, and the CEO has noticed that, okay, this person will not aid in my success, and so I take the person out. Rather than we having foot soldiers being the ones to say, get this person out.
No, they are only protesting the appointment.
Okay.
You understand? And he talks about how church toilets were taken over, have been taken over. This argument started by them. This thing about party food soldiers taking every aspect of us, it started by the NPP government. So you're only replicating.
My producer says something. Producer, please, what did you say? I didn't hear you earlier. Pardon? Okay, all right. Let me read some. Casper, I'll come back to you. Okay,
that's fine. That's fine.
Let me just read a few Facebook messages. Fine. Let's see what we have from Facebook. Anyway, no, I mean,
I'm shocked.
So Casper, the thing is not about. No, the thing is not about protest. It's not about protest.
So for protest and agencies and pull out people who are not.
It's not about protest. It's about.
No, I never said that. I never said that. I said they have the right
to protest. Okay.
What right do they have?
No, wait. Honorable. No, protesting. Wait, honorable. Protesting is allowed.
Good.
It is going further to take the people out. That's a problem.
Have they taken anybody out?
Casper, that's where the problem is. No, National Service, the people that said, from what you're saying, they are taking them out.
No.
And that's where the problem is.
The briefing I have is that they are agitating.
No, so if you're agitating, that's different.
So somebody is there as a director or maybe a secretary at the Assembly, National Service Secretariat, and because you see that person to be MPP or maybe CPP, you say you shouldn't work as a secretary.
No, they have the right to protest, but they don't go and take.
In what capacity?
No, honorable. Okay, relax. So as a citizen, you have the right to protest.
Really?
Honorable. As a citizen, you have a right to protest. However, it ends somewhere. There's a line. And that's where I came in and I said, the authorities are the ones to take the people out, not
you are protesting.
And the president has not taken the person out.
They are protesting.
It's just a protest.
For what? What has the person done?
No, they are protesting.
For what he is saying,
a partisan MPP.
No, for what he is saying, that meaning that today, if you are affiliated to the MPP or any other political party, you have to resign and come and sit at home. If you leave the way for the NDC.
You don't
from what you are saying. From what you are saying.
If you don't believe in the president's vision,
then the next government comes. All NPP have to move. From what you are doing,
that's where
you are encouraging and motivating your people to be doing this. And when you do, that's why I said that. Look,
our people have the right to protest against certain appointments, and that's what they did.
No, but wait, Casper.
You see, that's what they did. They have the right to protest.
Casper.
Now, if you want to say this to cut the president's eye.
No, not to cut the president.
All right.
The question is that we are getting like any.
Relax. I understand you. Wait.
The two of us. I don't expect you to sit here. National television and encourage and motivate people to agitate against people who have been employed.
No, there's a difference between.
If you're an MPP person who was against President Mahama's agenda and you don't believe you don't believe in his vision, and you are appointed, party members have the right. I'm saying they have the right to protest against your
protest.
Yes,
Let's not.
You went to GRE. I'm coming. They went to GRE. You slept there for almost about 2 weeks. What happened? At the end of the day, when President Mahama was forming the Economic Dialogue Committee, he put the person there. At Mineral Commission. He's still there as a CEO.
Honorable.
You see, sometimes it is not about the person's party affiliation, but sometimes we have to look at the person's how do you call it? Qualification and the person's ability to transform the institution the person is.
Okay, great.
I'm not against that.
The GRA boss, when he came, he said, despite all these things, government has given me a target, and therefore I'm going to make sure that I get more than what the government have set.
Okay, honorable, relax.
What I'm saying, Akufo-Addo appointee is still there.
Okay.
So, all right. Mahama has not come.
All right, gentlemen.
But I'm saying that party members have the right to protest.
Okay, let's. For those of you watching this morning, Honorable and Casper, for those of you watching at home this morning, let me clear it. Now, Casper is not saying that the foot soldiers should go and remove people.
That's not at all. Not at all.
Please.
Not at all.
That's not what he said. I beg. Let's get it clear. When I questioned him, I said to him that party foot soldiers, they do have a line that is strong. withdrawn. Yes, they can protest, but they don't have the right to take the people out because we have hierarchy. So the authorities are the ones who have to do that. The authorities are the ones who have to take people out if they feel these people cannot help them to succeed. And from what Caspar is saying, the party-full soldiers have every right to protest as a Ghanaian. And it ends there. It doesn't go beyond protesting. So party-full soldiers can protest because they might not be happy with something, but then they don't have the right to take people out.
True.
Please, that is what it is. Thank you very much. So let's not get people saying all sorts of things that Caspar is saying that party-full soldiers should go and take people out and make their way his words. Please, let's get it right. Let me read a few messages, Honorable. I'll come to you. I'm not being... No, I'm not.
You can play back all the things that he has said.
Oh no, you let me read some messages. Pedro, Maldina Cruz, no. The best show airborne in here, loud and clear, inside Indianapolis, Kumasi, Thanos, Kesben Junction, the main location from Pedro. Musa Abatua says that exciting progress at the National Service Tomato Farms. I've done this already. Sumani Hamza, good morning to you, Madam, and to your guest. Madam, what a wonderful intervention from the President. We are indeed happy for the initiative. Honorable, please let me finish reading my messages. Honorable, let me read my messages. Okay, we are indeed happy for the initiative by the government. We are ready for it and hoping that we too get the chance to participate. Madam, what are the National Service Secretariats afraid of? Do they want NDC people to sit aloof or for them to continue with their NPP mentality? Why are they complaining now? So NDC should leave them for them to continue their corrupt activities and that of recruiting their NPP sympathizers. They will not get what they are looking for. Either they cooperate or resign. My regards to MP of Mio. Good morning, Joy Prime. Team Joy Prime, a message to Boko. Okay, this is a good one, so I'll read it. A message to the good people of Boko. Dear brothers and sisters in Boko, in this time of tension and division, let us remember that we belong to one another, one nation, Ghana. Our strength lies not in how loud we speak, but in how well we listen. Our future depends not on who wins, but on how we heal. Let's choose dialogue over silence, understanding over judgment, and compassion over fear. No matter our differences, we share the same soil, the same hopes for our children, and the same longing for peace. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of respect, dignity, and love. Together, we can rise above our struggles and build a community where all voices are heard, all lives are valued, and all hearts are at rest. Let us be the peace we seek. Let us walk the path of unity, hand in hand, heart to heart, with hope and sincerity. God Key from Volta, Rachel Keta, Celestinam, Nutako. There is a farmer education program under the program. I'm very sure the National Coordinator for Feed Ghana program will be one of your sister station this morning to throw more light on some of the key issues. That's Joy News. Okay, Hamza Mohammed, good morning, Rosalind. What is my good friend Ebenezer talking about? I don't think he has an idea about what goes into the business of operating toilets in this country. Imagine going to a toilet will cost you 1 cedi, multiply the 1 cedi by 2 people a day in a month, and also multiply it by a year and see for yourself. Toilet business in Ghana today is not a joke. He should me with a land because I want to go into toilet. Oh, so you should give him a land. You go into toilet business.
I didn't say that. I'm saying that
it has been politicized.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm not. It's a very good business. Very, very good business. Very, 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 very. I tell you. But it only depends on the location.
Citizen Apuwada says, good morning to you. Okay, so Alhaji Hamza comes back and says that, good morning. In my humble opinion, we should be truthful to ourselves and speak the truth for once. Talking about peace, like I said, when it comes to Boko, if it's not about peace, I'm not going to read it. Timothy Annabella, good morning, Rosalind. Encouraging backyard farming is a positive step towards food security. However, the success of this initiative hinges on addressing the significant issue of livestock damaging gardens and farms. A clear and strictly enforced policy is needed to hold owners accountable for the actions of their animals, regardless of their background. This policy should include appropriate penalties for negligence and measures to prevent future damage. Right, I do agree with you 100%. if you are not able to manage it well, we will penalize you. Don't come for it if you can't manage it well. That's the country's money that we are talking about. Okay, so Sami Boachi from Masamanke say, is it not intriguing? Within a span of 4 months under the Mahama-led administration, Ghana has witnessed widespread fire outbreaks affecting not only the economy but also democratic institutions. The surge in food prices has become unbearable while fuel prices continue to escalate and cement prices are skyrocketing. Mass job termination are ongoing across institutions, and there have been significant increase in electricity and water prices with a notable deterioration in the dollar to CD exchange rate. Furthermore, press freedom is under threat and national security personnel. Press freedom is not under threat, please. It's not. National security personnel are conducting unwarranted raids on private residences. It appears that there is an attempt to depoliticize. Okay. Kwame Eduapia. Okay, so this is all that I'll read here. Let me see if I have a few WhatsApp messages as well, and I read those WhatsApp messages. Rosalind, we were told that the guinea fowl flew to Burkina Faso. This happened. You cannot sweep it under the carpet. Today, the NDC has become angels. Okay. Good morning, Madam Roslyn. The Free Ghana initiative is a good one, as it's just like a change of name from the previous Planting for Food and Jobs. The Planting for Food and Jobs was an excellent one, though it was not without challenges. When things are done rightly with regards to its implementation without much politics, it may be successful. Otherwise, the SHS farms will be good, but teachers and prefects shouldn't be using go and weed as punishment for students, as it makes farming unattractive for students. That's so true. This is so true. He says, my regards to Honorable for not being political on the show. Nanton, do. Okay. But this is really true, you know. This is, if you use it as punishment, they will lose interest in farming. That's true. So we are hoping that they will not tell the students that go and weed, and then they lose interest, and then when they come out, they'll feel like farming is a punishment. No, farming is the next place that you can make all your millions. All right, so this all time will permit us for today's conversation. I'll take your final opinions on what you have said so far, just a minute each, and then we can go. Honorable, I'll start with you, please.
President, somebody said, one of the testers said, now you cannot speak your mind, you can't say anything. And he said, no, it is not true. He said
media freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I go on my Facebook wall, on my Twitter page, and I post something, I said, they said, oh, this person is going to rest. And I said, oh, then let him rest, let him or her rest well. Does it warrant for an arrest? You said this person has traveled to go and rest. And I said, let him or her rest well. Does it warrant for an arrest?
So rest well. What was the post?
You asked Nana Yao, oh, I've not been seeing Eben for some time. Oh, Eben said he's traveling outside the country to go and rest. Oh, okay, then let him rest well. Does it warrant for an arrest?
What was the post?
I'm just asking.
No, what was the post? What was the post? Because that was not the post.
But what was
I know
he's introducing a new issue.
Let's not go there. Let's end the conversation. You just give your final submission under 1 minute, though. Your final submission. But we all know what it is.
Yeah. I think that every Ghanaian have the right, just as others have the right, to demonstrate against people who are civil servants and public servants who are working in the offices that do not belong to a political party but belongs to government, that can go and say that we don't want this person here, we don't want this person here, and therefore these people should leave this office. Some other Ghanaians also have the right to also express their views. For me, this morning, I am so sad and so much disappointed in my brother, young as he is just like me, to sit on the national television and call for his party members to identify NDC, MPP people, and CPP, and PNC, and the Kedonko party people working in the various ministries, departments, and agencies. That because they don't belong to the NDC, they should demonstrate and remove them from their offices. I'm so sad about it. And when we continue this way, I don't think that it will help us as a country. Because if we, the young ones who will take over from the grown-ups, are encouraging our youth to do this, then I'm afraid. I'm afraid for this country. Then this country have no future. Then this country, nobody will be willing to serve in any public service or any government agencies, because if I'm employed within a political party's regime, then when that party leaves office and another party comes, I have to leave. That's the kind of attitude that we are trying to introduce in this country. And for me, I think that it is not helping us as a country. What they are trying to do is rather destroying our country. And it wasn't to conclude it, as you have said. We have left with about 3 days or 4 days to end the Lent, to celebrate the death of Christ and the resurrection of Christ. I want to make this passionate appeal to my brothers and sisters up north. Just as Esther said, we have nowhere to go. We are one people. I want to plead with them that let's bury all our differences for the sake of our children and for the sake of our country. And I also want to make this passionate appeal from both political parties who are very prominent, who are coming from there. I'll be very happy that I'll see President John Mahama, I will see Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I will see other prominent Muslims from other political parties holding their hands, walking to Boko, and appeal to the youth and elders of Boko that let's put our guns and let's put everything down. Whatever be the issue, let's try to resolve it.
All right.
And let's
Thank you
peace
so much,
prevail.
Brain. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Rosalind.
Yes.
Media freedom is not under attack. However, if you decide to go out there to be reckless and cause unnecessary fear and panic, the security agencies will come after you. If you, Rosalind, say you're going to rest, and I decide to go to Facebook and put a post that rest well, then I put a crying emoji, it doesn't portend good faith. It doesn't portend that you wish Rose well, and Rosalind well. So fear and panic will be arrested. People who causes unnecessary fear and panic, you shouldn't be reckless in our press freedom space. No. So if you cause unnecessary fear and panic, you'll be arrested. That does not mean media freedom is under attack. Rosalind, I never said NDC members across the country should go to offices and sack people who are PNC, MPP, CPP, or whatever. The point I'm making is that as a young person who believes in John Dramah's vision, campaigned for him to win a landslide victory, if I see any civil servant who's supposed to be neutral, who's supposed to be impartial, who did partisan politics, and doesn't believe in the vision of John Dramani Mahama, I have the right to draw the president's attention that this person will sabotage your agenda. It doesn't mean well for you. There are people who believe in you, they have the capacity, they have the capability to occupy the office. I have the right to protest, and I have the right to raise my voice. And that's what I'm calling on the youth of the party to do, because Ghanaians will not forgive us if you don't reset this country. And we have people who believe in upgrade, and they don't believe that this country has to be reset. We're not going to go anywhere. These are the people who were sitting at National Service Secretariat, authorities, facilitating the recruitment or the payment of 80,000 Gosling. They never raised concerns about it. Today, if you believe that to reset national service, certain staff should not be there, you are saying that we should not. Why not this country, when Yaira was sacked from National Identification Authority because of Facebook post, today he's back there. He was sacked.
All right.
When Bawumia went to NIA for the first time in Artifua, Yaira took them around. He's somebody who has his, and knows his staff. He's competent, he has the capacity, but they sacked him. So people who have the capacity are still serving under President Mahama. They believe in his vision. Mahama thinks they can help him. I gave you an example of Ghana Airport Company. If one is still there, she's working. There are a lot of them who are still there. So not everybody in MPP who was appointed by Akufo-Addo has been sacked. As and when the president thinks that he needs a change in direction in terms of the leadership of those agencies, he will change them. But the party membership has the right to point out to moles people who are going to sabotage the reset agenda, and we will do it.
All right.
The youth of the country, Feed Ghana program is here. There is wealth in agri. You can prosper in agri. It should be a first love, should not be an afterthought. If you have the passion to go into poultry, livestock, rearing, you want to go into cashew farming, palm nut farming, mango, name it. The government is ready to support you. All you just have to do is that prepare yourself. In the coming days, these initiatives will be rolled out. Get on board and make an ends meet through agriculture.
All right, thank you, Caspar. And this is all time off the missus for the News Flash segment. My name is Roslyn Feli. Thank you so much. My guest, Honorable Ebenezer Nate, he represented the NPP. Thank you so much. And Caspar Kampoli, who represented the NDC this morning. Thank you too, Caspar. And so for you out there, it's all about peace that we're preaching. And so as much as we've spoken about this, we have diverse opinions. Please, it's peace. We have just one Ghana. And for the people of Boko, we are praying that peace will prevail there. Like a texter sent a message, we have only one Ghana. And so let's build peace for the sake of our children. And we can. It's one love. We love you, people of Boko. We do love you.